6 months ago, I quit my full-time job as a veterinarian to pursue a career in content creation. And in today's video, I will be sharing my experience in making this drastic change in my life. I will go over the things I learned, mistakes I made, the challenges I had to overcome, and where I am headed for next. If you've ever contemplated quitting your full-time job, then this video is for you. I will cut out all the fluff and BS that you've seen all over the internet before and give you a real-life example of someone who went against the grain so that you can decide for yourself if this is really something that you would like to do. Now, a very good story. We need to start at the beginning. Why did I quit my job in the first place? Now, I made a video explaining exactly my reasons, but in short, I was burnt out, in a bad mental state, and I didn't really feel like my talents were properly utilized. At the time, I already had a couple of passion projects running, including this YouTube channel where I teach others the basics of personal finances, and another YouTube channel and blog where my wife and I publish educational content for pet owners to help them take better care of their pets. Now, even though I was working close to 20 hours a week on my side projects, in addition to my 40 to 50 hours full-time job, those side hustles were only making a measly little income at the time. I thought that if I went all out guns and blazing into developing these side projects into a small business, then I should be able to replace my full-time income as a vet in no time. I mean, that is what many influencers on the internet will tell you, that making money online is easy and that it requires very little time and effort. And as I was approaching burnout in my profession and I saw a bunch of young lighties flashing their cash on YouTube and TikTok, I thought, come on, how hard can this be? I already had some skills in video production and content creation, so if I were to double down and work 60 hours a week on our blog and YouTube channels, then I would also soon be driving a Lambo in Clifton, right? So at the beginning of February 2022, my wife and I took the leap. We quit our jobs, packed up a little apartment, and then shoved most of our stuff into storage, only traveling around with whatever we can fit into our car. We were extremely fortunate enough to have awesome family members who opened their arms to embrace this unconventional decision of ours, and even though I'm sure that they didn't think that this was necessarily the wisest thing to do, they still supported us by welcoming us into their homes and making our journey as comfortable as possible. Now, to be honest, even though I initially thought that I would be at the very least twice as productive as before by publishing 787 videos per week like Graham Stephan, I could barely keep up with 2 videos a week. I thought that now that I have all the time in the world, I can grow both YouTube channels to 100,000 subscribers, publish 100 articles on the blog, and somewhere grow my Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Twitter accounts for both my passion projects. And guess what? This ideology failed miserably. 6 months later of both our full-time efforts, and we are barely scraping by $500 per month. In my mind, this number should have been much more closer to $2,500, so even though we really did try to give it our all, we weren't even as close to where we were hoping to be. So this warrants 2 questions. 1, did we fail? And 2, was this whole decision just a giant mistake? Failure is an interesting, complex term that cannot really be measured and explained by one single metric. Financially, we failed, yes, because we took a 95% pay cut to pursue projects that barely made any return on time investment. And even though we properly prepared for our exit by building up a healthy emergency fund, it was still difficult to see how we started to eat into our savings every single month trying to cover our expenses. I am a strong left numbers brain person, so by seeing our net worth decreasing every month was not lacquer at all. And to top all of this, just after we made the decision to quit our jobs, the whole world seemed to go crazy. A war broke out, interest rates increased all over the world, and inflation went rampant. As a personal finance YouTuber, I spend on average 2 to 3 hours a day just reading up on world news, and seeing these events unfold was truly depressing. Not only because how it affected everyone around the world, but more specifically how it affected our situation. Firstly, due to the ever-increasing inflation rate, our savings, which was kept in cash accounts, were losing value at an increasing rate every single month. And secondly, the stock market crash presented excellent opportunities to buy shares in great companies at massive discounts. But seeing that we did not have any extra money to invest, let alone to cover our expenses, it felt like we were missing out on the chance of a lifetime to build true wealth. A potential worldwide recession was obviously not something that I could foresee before making the decision to quit our jobs. So not having a reliable income during this critical stage in our lives did put tremendous amount of stress on me that I didn't even know would happen. But as I've said, failure is not something that you can simply label and put into a box. Even though we did not meet our financial goals, we experienced the work that we were doing to be extremely fulfilling. I am incredibly proud of the community I built here on YouTube, and even though it is still small, I do have high hopes that it will eventually grow into the hundreds and thousands as more South Africans start realizing the importance of education around their finances. I try my best to not only give you guys important information, but also to teach you how to think, because I believe that it is much more valuable for someone to learn how to make their own informed decisions rather than to just blindly trust the opinions of some random dude on the internet. And even though it becomes rather tedious scripting, filming, editing and publishing videos every single day, the encouraging positive comments that you guys leave make every single video and blog article worth it. So I can confidently say that we were successful in publishing work that we could be proud of, that actually helped to make a measurable, impactful difference in people's lives. So this brings me to my second question. Did we make a mistake by leaving our high-paying, secure, full-time jobs for our low-paying, unpredictable side passion projects? To be honest with you, this is a question that I ask myself almost on a daily basis. Conventional wisdom will tell you that you need to get a good degree in a stable profession and then work as hard as you can to climb the ladder to the top to make a decent living. Now, I did study really hard and was extremely fortunate to be accepted straight out of high school. Unlike most other professions, there is only one place in South Africa where you can study to become a veterinarian. So out of tens of thousands of applications, only 200 students are accepted every single year. And after going through rigorous training for 6 years, becoming a qualified profession in one of the most in-demand professions in the world, it would obviously make much more sense to just focus on my qualification for which I worked extremely hard, right? My wife and I are very privileged to be offered jobs in the UK, Australia and New Zealand that pays close to 1 million rand per year with attractive relocation packages including visa sponsorships, welcome bonuses and other financial perks. So why the hell did we reject these attractive offers to make videos and write blog articles for free? This is a question that I'm sure many people have silently asked themselves when trying to figure out why we do what we do. Now there are many answers to this question, and without trying to go all Ali Abdal on you guys with philosophical answers, it all basically boils down to this simple truth: doing the things that make life worth living. As humans, we all have an inherent need to provide value to society. That's how God designed us to be, and that's how we managed to survive as a species. Deep inside, we all want to feel useful by making an impactful difference in the lives of others. I often imagine my grey old self sitting in my rocking chair in an old age home, reflecting on what exactly I managed to achieve with the precious time that God has given me here on earth. What will make me the most happy when I reach the end of my road? Fame? No, I do not care for the limelight. Fortune? Probably not. What's the use of having millions in the bank if you are not able to enjoy it or spend it with the ones you love? For me, at the end, it is not what you have when you leave this world behind you, it is what you leave behind you when you go. So the puzzle piece that will make my life complete would be to leave a legacy behind. Not necessarily in terms of wealth, but rather in terms of empowerment. Instead of trying to become a billionaire just to brag that I donated millions to charity, I would much rather devote my life focusing on empowering people to rise above their own circumstances so that in turn they can pay it forward and help others to do the same. Because this will create a powerful ripple effect that can cause shockwaves that has the potential to shake our beloved country back in its place. Now I know that I can still provide a lot of value as a vet in a consulting room, and I'm not trying to downplay this by any means. The only issue I have with this is that I am very limited to make an impactful difference. Just like everybody else, I also only have 24 hours a day, which means that I can only see and help as many pets and their owners as my time allows. But if I instead create a video or a helpful article on the internet where I help a pet owner understand what exactly the pet is going through and what they can do to help them, the impact that I can have is exponentially larger. It is all about the economies of scale. The same applies to this financial YouTube channel. Instead of keeping useful information to myself with regards to improving my own finances, why not spend a bit more time to make a useful resource so that others can do the same? So to answer your question, no, we do not think that we made a mistake, and if we were to choose again, we would have made the exact same decision. Not only were we able to build a solid base for side projects, but we also managed to spend a lot more quality time together as a couple, as well as with our creator. We were able to properly self-reflect on where exactly we want to go with our lives and our careers, and all of this is invaluable. But moving from here onwards, there are a couple of things that we will do a bit differently. Firstly, we need to increase our income. Even though I'm really proud to say that we managed to cut our expenses by more than half since we quit our jobs, there's only so much that you can cut before you start feeling miserable. There's a difference between being conscious and being obsessed with saving money. I probably hit my lowest low when I had to physically go to the manager's office at Checkers just to make sure the 2-minute noodles I saw on TV was indeed on special. I became a bit obsessed with saving every single cent, and this started to consume me. So although I would always advocate for saving money on unnecessary expenses, and by the way, we made a complete guide on saving money in South Africa that you can download for free down in the description, it is much more productive to spend your time trying to make more money than it is to try and capitalize on smart chopper points. So throughout these past 6 months, I probably tried out every single method of making money online that you could think of. I tried filling in online surveys, web testing, transcribing, tutoring, and even writing research articles, amongst many other things. YouTube is littered with videos claiming that you can make $300 per day with zero skills and zero experience. And to give it to you straight, those videos are, while it is definitely possible to make $300 a day, it will most certainly require an advanced set of skills and a ton of time. You won't in your right mind give someone $300 for doing nothing. So how can you expect others to do it for you? The amount of money that you will earn is directly correlated with how much value that you can bring to society. So if you want to make more money, you need to figure out how you can provide more value. For us, we were not making nearly enough from our side hustles. So we decided to follow conventional wisdom by dusting off our stethoscopes and started to work again as veterinarians here in Cape Town. But this time it is on our terms. We reduce our hours to between 25 and 35 hours a week so that we can still have plenty of time to work on our side projects. This allows a steady stream of income that will be more than enough to cover our expenses and allow some money left over to invest into the stock market and back into our business. And on that note, now that we have a bit more cash on hand, we will also start outsourcing some of our work. I will try to get an editor because videos like these takes a crap long time to edit, and my wife will train a small team of writers to write articles for our blog. This allows us to focus on the things that we are best at whilst outsourcing the tedious tasks that devours up our time. I do believe that by doing this, we will be able to grow our side hustles much faster into a lucrative business that will in turn allow us to work fewer hours whilst earning more. This is basically applying what Tim Ferriss teaches in his 4-hour work week book. So yeah, even though I now started working again as a vet, you guys will hopefully start to see more videos from my side in the next couple of months. I will be focusing on growing my other social media channels alongside YouTube. So I will be taking on the challenge to create short form videos in addition to these long form videos on YouTube. I also managed to get some sponsors aboard, and I am busy organizing a couple of collaborations with other friendly faces that you probably have seen on YouTube as well. Exciting things ahead, guys. So to conclude, looking back over the past 6 months, my wife and I have no regrets for quitting our full-time jobs to pursue our passions. While I do think we made the leap much too early and that we should have ideally grown our side hustles to earn a lot more than it did, we learned a lot, and we are now back in a very strong financial position where we can feel the growth of our side projects at an exponential rate. I want to thank all of you awesome people for following along in our journey and for all of your words of encouragement. I read every single comment and I really do try my best to reply to all of them. I'm extremely proud of how the supportive community on YouTube has grown, and I cannot wait to see what impact we will all make together. So with that said, thank you for watching this video, and feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions with regards to our journey. You must all have a lekker day. Cheers!